Hey socialites, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Ariell. I do mainly beauty videos, fragrance, and occasional lifestyle over here. So if those are the type of videos you enjoy, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and come join the family. So today's another try new makeup video. I recently did a haul, a Sephora haul. If you guys haven't seen that video, you can click on that link right there. Check it out so you can see some of the new goodies that I've added to my collection. This is take two. I tried this combination of new products like a day or two ago and I didn't like it. So I said, you know what, let's re-record it. Let's use these products in a different way or maybe switch out some products. If you want to see how I got this look with some of Sephora's latest products, then keep on watching. Okay, socialites, so we're going to start off with the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. It's smooth as if it were a silicone, so that's what's different about it. Along with the primer, Huda Beauty did release a foundation, the Easy Blur foundation, which is a medium coverage natural finish. It does have that sort of squeeze tip, so I'm gonna take a little bit. And it comes in 29 shades, and I feel like the shade range is pretty decent. So recently I came across this buffing foundation brush from Walmart. It almost, y'all, didn't even really have a brand on it. It was just like a basic package that said buffing foundation brush. So I'm not sure the brand, but I wanted to test this out. It does blend pretty well. It's sturdy enough to give you coverage, but then it's soft enough to get a good blend. There's a duo fiber situation here. So, and I think this brush was like $4. I also got a an eyeshadow blending brush that came with this sort of same brand. Y'all, the brush was like 75 cents. So these are really affordable. MAC just launched or relaunched their new Studio Radiance 24-hour Luminous Lift Concealer. So my experience with this at first, and I used the same primer, same foundation, was it emphasized every bit of texture under my eyes, which is different because that's never happened before with me using a concealer. So let's see. Yeah, as I'm putting it on, every bit of texture under eye, texture that I didn't know I had, I can see. So just softly blending out the edges and working my way up. And it is quite luminous. It's definitely a radiant concealer, which I'm not used to using that. That could honestly be it. The fact that it's radiant, that it emphasizes texture slightly though. I'm not seeing it as much as I did the first time, So also the first time I used these new products, I went in with the new Makeup by Mario powder. And this one's in the shade Warm Honey, which is similar to this concealer shade I'm using, actually. Like a honey shade, yellowish tint to it. And it really darkened me. It like darkened the whole look. It's deeper than any setting powder that you guys are used to me using. But I wanted to try something different. It's too dark and it looked really dry. I heard so many great things about this that what I want to do is exchange it for like a translucent shade and go from there and maybe use it with a different concealer as well. So I'm not going to use this today. Cream or liquid contour. So to set, I'm going to use something super familiar. This is probably my most purchased loose setting powder that I've been purchasing for the longest out of anything in my collection. So it's the Laura Mercier translucent powder. This is just the original. It's not the Ultra Blur. The packaging is because I bought it like during like a holiday. It was like a holiday limited edition packaging, but it's the same, you know, translucent Laura Mercier powder. One thing about this concealer is there is minimal creasing. So it doesn't look dry under eye, because when I used that Makeup by Mario with these same products, y'all, it was so matte. I'm gonna try to exchange it today to get a translucent shade, but next time I use it, I'm gonna use very little, like start off with very little, just in case it was the amount that I used. I'm gonna bronze a little bit with my Sephora Collection Micro Smooth Powder. This one's in the shade Ebony. Completely different outcome from the first time, because y'all, I was like, is it the foundation? Was it the primer? The About Face Cheek Freak, it's the name of their blush. It's a unique formula in that it's like a cream blush, but it's a powder too. Like, it feels creamy, but when it touches your skin, it's powder. So that's interesting. I want to try this with the underpainting technique, since I do underpainting sometimes, to see, you know, how that would work out, since it does turn into a powder so quick. How the products layer on top of it, because obviously I'm putting this on top of everything else. And this one's in the shade Smash. They have a red one. This one is not the red one. It's close to red, but it's not red. They had a straight up red one that I wanted to get. I think I may. I'll probably pick it up next time they do a sale with the brand. For eyeshadow, I'm going to take one of my favorite palettes. Unfortunately, it is discontinued. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Eye Palette for smoky eyes. And it has the most unique shades in here that show up so beautifully. That green I love. They have like that pinkish tone. They just look so amazing on the eye, and how you see it in the palette is how it translates on the eye too, which I love that about this palette. So hopefully they come back out with it at some point. That's why I like to tell you guys about it still, because some of these eyeshadow palettes they do bring back. It's about time I retire this brush, y'all. It feels as if there's only 10 hairs in it. We know there's more, but that's how thin and flimsy it is now. This is the MAC 224 blending brush. This was back when they used real hair, before they were using synthetic hair. It even says France on here at the bottom. This is when they used to make them, when they used to be manufactured in France using real hair. Since then they use synthetic fibers now in their brushes, but I've had this one since like 2010. So that just lets you know how long they last. This brush has been washed. I want to go pick up a new one actually, so I can compare like the old version versus how their brushes are now. Over the past like year or two, I have bought a couple of MAC brushes, but they were like concealer type brushes that have always been synthetic hair. So Haus Labs recently released a liquid eyeliner. It's like one of those in like a felt tip, really skinny tip. I did use this in the last video as well, and I liked it. It showed up really bold. Somebody said that they tried it and ended up returning it. They didn't like it, but y'all, look how it does the trick for me. Really dark, pigmented, and it still glides on kind of juicy on top of my powder. If you're familiar with how felt tips work, sometimes that's kind of like hit and miss, because some of these felt tips can be kind of dry and a little skippy on top of your eyeshadows, but it's still smooth and juicy for me. So my Sephora 12-hour pencil, this one is in Coconut. The Sephora Collection Lift Mascara. So for lip liner, I'm going to use the Sasho lip liner. This is that lip liner stain that I'm sure you guys have been seeing all over social media. Now, I did haul this in like a collective haul a while back, and I've used it a few times since then. I really like it. This is actually the darkest shade, which is called Clover. And so you keep it on for a few minutes, and as it dries, once it completely dries, you're able to peel it off. And even when you eat, because I've worn it to lunch before, even when you eat, when your lip color wears off, your line is still there. So all you have to do is just apply your gloss or whatever lip color that you had on. So another Sephora powder, this one is in Mahogany, which is more so my skin tone. my Charlotte Tilbury powder. This is just to brighten a little bit under eye. So once everything is set, I'm not mad at the concealer color, the NC45. Maybe it was just the fact that I had the Makeup by Mario powder that was on there that just really darkened it, but I'm not mad at it. I would prefer like a little bit brighter, just slightly. But I'm not mad at this at all. I don't feel the need to exchange it. So this is what Clover looks like after it peels off. You'll see a little here. And I'm just gonna put Fussy from Fenty on top. It smells so good. So what do you guys think about these products together? I'm gonna do like an informal wear test because I'm not too familiar with this new foundation, although I have worn it that one time. So I'm gonna wear it for the next few hours. Check back in the comments or the description box if you wanna know about the wear. But I'm gonna be using this on probably the next couple of tutorials, and I'll be able to give you guys a little bit more info on them. So everything I mentioned today, I'll have linked in the description box or on the YouTube shopping tab that's right there on the screen. If you're new here, welcome. I'd love for you to come join the family by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. 'Cause I've been where you are. You're too scared to show me love. 'Cause too fresh with the scars. Well, I don't have the answers.